Every age has its heroes. Some wear crowns, some lead armies, and then there are those who rise from the shadows of suffering, who have nothing but courage, and yet they change the course of history. Harriet Tubman was one such person. She was born around 1822 in Dorchester County, Maryland, not into freedom, but into slavery. Her birth name was Araminta Ross. To her enslavers, she was just another child in the fields, but in her heart, a fire was already burning. As a child, she was hired out for grueling labor, watching babies for hours, setting muskrat traps, working in fields until her body ached. She was beaten when she cried, whipped when she faltered. Once, when she was a teenager, she was struck in the head with an iron weight thrown by an overseer. The blow nearly killed her. For the rest of her life, she suffered dizzy spells and fainting fits. But this wound, instead of breaking her, seemed to give her visions, a deep spiritual sense of destiny. Harriet grew up under the whip, but she never bowed her spirit, and when she was about 27 years old, she made a decision that would define her life. She would escape. One night in 1849, under a sky lit only by stars, she stole away from the plantation. She followed the North Star, trudged through swamps, waded across rivers, hid in barns and attics. She made it at last to Philadelphia, free at last. For many, that would have been enough. Freedom for herself, safety, a new life. But not for Harriet. Freedom, she believed, was not real if only she had it. She said later, "I freed 1,000 slaves. I could have freed 1,000 more if only they knew they were slaves." And so she went back, again and again, across hostile land, with patrols hunting her, with bounties on her head. She returned to the South to guide others out of bondage. Men, women, children. She led them along the secret routes of the Underground Railroad. She used disguises, clever tricks, and an unshakable will. Once, when a man grew tired and wanted to turn back, risking the safety of the group, she pulled out her pistol and said firmly, "You'll be free or you'll die." And they pressed on. She never lost a passenger, not one. They called her Moses. She could not read or write, yet she carried a vision of freedom stronger than any map. Slave catchers posted rewards for her capture, but she always vanished like a shadow. Her faith, her courage, and her cunning made her unstoppable. When the Civil War broke out, Harriet did not stand aside. She worked as a nurse, tending to wounded soldiers. She gathered intelligence for the Union Army, guiding scouts behind Confederate lines. In 1863, she even led a raid along the Combahee River in South Carolina, freeing more than 700 enslaved people in a single night. The first woman in American history to lead an armed military operation. But Harriet Tubman was not only a fighter, she was a builder. After the war, she settled in Auburn, New York. She cared for her aging parents, both of whom she had rescued from slavery. She opened her home to the poor and the sick, raising money, giving what little she had to others. Later, she founded a home for elderly African Americans because even in freedom, the fight for dignity continued. Harriet never sought wealth or fame. She never had much money. She could not even sign her name. But her life was richer than gold. She lived to see slavery abolished, and though racism and injustice still raged, she never stopped believing that progress was possible. She died in 1913, in her 90s, surrounded by those she had inspired. Her final words were, "I go to prepare a place for you." Harriet Tubman's story is not just about the past. It is about today. She shows us that greatness is not about power or privilege. It is about courage, the courage to defy injustice, the courage to risk everything for what is right, the courage to believe that one life can change countless others. Harriet Tubman's story is not just about the past, it is about today. She shows us that greatness is not about power or privilege. It is about courage. The courage to defy injustice. The courage to risk everything for what is right. The courage to believe that one life can change countless others.